When he went to ask for his wife's hand in marriage from her parents, the father found every excuse to say no, because he said this one was going to be a punishment to their family. His poverty was too obvious. Well, 10 years later, when the 10th anniversary came, they were celebrating that marriage in his apartment in Banana Island. He is a businessman whose pioneering work has traversed Nigeria, Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and the United States. You know, he has pioneered digital marketing, he has pioneered real estate, smart homes and green homes. He's known across the real estate market. His story is one of those that reminds you, convinces you, refutes those who say that Nigeria is a place that kills dreams. I've heard so much about the man they call Stevie in Akintayo. It's a pleasure and a delight to finally sit with him to hear this whirlwind of a story and to encounter just exactly why he influences so many across the country. Welcome to With Chide.
Come for me.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for
it. Finally happened. This has taken
it's
a few months and years.
Yeah.
But it finally happened. Thank you. You were very vocal in the last elections. You know, that's not typical for Nigerian businessmen. The more money Nigerian businessmen have, the less they say about the politics of the day. Why did you feel the need to do that?
Well, so funny enough, I've always been that vocal.
Okay.
2015 elections, even though I supported Jonathan, right. But I guess DSS did not know. And then I was into digital marketing,
right.
SMS, email marketing. We had the largest email database, largest phone number database.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks or so to the election, DSS came to storm my office and whisked me away. Yeah, so, but I wasn't this big then in terms of followership. I was always vocal.
Right.
And I remember part of my grievance with them was that if you check my social media, I was even speaking for Jonathan. I was positive about Jonathan's government. But they traced, because we were handling all SMS campaign nationwide for Jonathan. Right. But at the same time, we're handling all the email campaigns for Buhari. Right.
So they didn't know.
Yes.
Right.
And none came directly. So we just because we had the largest those who got it eventually brought it to us.
Yeah.
So some of them we don't even know that was the campaign until they send us the message to now push. Like, so we're even handling this.
Right.
So by the time they whisked me away, they gave me a file this thick. Asked for where I was born, who was my girlfriend when I was 12. I mean, it was job questions, a child's play.
So you were supposed to fill the form?
Yeah, they will ask you everything. Even we do tests, they took me to their clinic, all manner. I mean, so they asked me to sleep in their reception. I didn't even know they were doing me a favor. It was later I discovered.
Right.
And that night I just kept praying, Lord, because I asked them when they came, where's your warrant? They said, order from presidency. They asked for warrant. Who's this guy? I said, don't touch me. I will follow you.
Right.
So that night, I just kept saying, God, I know nobody.
Yeah.
I've never met all these people.
Yeah.
I need your help. If they say president has problem with you, like
where do you go?
Like, where do you go?
Yeah.
And the following day, to my surprise, they released me to my lawyer. And then I did an article that was a shocker. Right. How Jonathan sent DSS to arrest me.
Right.
In 24 hours, it went viral. We had millions of views. It was big. So I'd always been vocal. So 2015, it wasn't. It was just that now I was more visible business-wise, and people felt. I've always said my mind.
Yeah.
And I think because also I wasn't really your typical entrepreneur who gets government contracts, who get, things. So I've avoided government people. Even in Lagos State, we've I had people say, come take government allocation. I'm like, let me buy from somebody else who's bought it, who's perfected his documents. Let me buy from that person. But doing government thing, it just puts you in their books. They need your favor. And for me, I'm a young man who grew up in the streets. My mother was a civil servant. My father was a business at Collab before I was born. Hawk Electronics, sold popcorn, did all manner. So even though God favored me at some point, business picked up. You have to know where you're coming from. You have to identify, and you're a young person too, so you can't say you don't know what's going on, and you understand the realities. I looked for a job in this country. After graduating, I printed 100 CVs. I had a cover letter that said, don't pay me salary for 6 months. I still didn't get the job.
Sorry. You gave a cover letter that,
yes,
just give me the job.
Don't pay me salary for 6 months.
And you still didn't get the job.
I didn't get a job in this country. So I understand really what an average person is going through. And that's why I was very much vocal. And I think I remain so.
Did that change your support of Jonathan?
No, funny enough, I still voted Jonathan in that election.
Right.
Because later on, after that, the article went viral. Because I was heavy in digital marketing, blogging, all of that. The DSS director sent for me. Right. And then when I entered, we were just, the guys who came to arrest me, because I had told them in the car, I said, you said the president asked you to arrest me. I'm handling his SMS campaign. I said, see, they drop names. See this stupid guy. You know Woza. If you don't Woza, look at they drop name.
Yeah.
So later a guy said, Tobaroni Sheru Amafitomoje is a Yoruba hadith. If you say send you message that is beneath you, you act like they just looked at me. And you imagine how I looked 2015. I was
9 years ago.
Slimmer, younger, and they were like, who is this guy? And so when I went back to meet the director, the same guy, when the article went viral, Egbon, he started calling me Egbon. Egbon, he said they come by me or down. Because I wrote there, I said, look, if you said you are DSS, if you did your research, you know I wasn't against that government. So, I mean, how can you call yourself DSS? You can't even do basic, So it was not saying what I wrote about him. So I entered the director's office, started shouting, you politician. I said, I'm not a politician. He said, they were calling us from Aso Rock over your matter. I said, but I'm not a politician. Your people said, but the president didn't send us. I said, but your people said order from the presidency. So go and change it, go and rewrite it, So I did another version. How DSS said, Jonathan did not ask them to arrest me.
That also means that at that time, you were moving against the popular digital opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What was the thing that made you stand firm in this? And how did you survive the fact that everybody else seemed to be moving in one direction, and you were moving in another direction?
So my father was a grassroots politician in Maiduguri.
Right, yes. I know you grew up in Maiduguri.
Yes, and the North is the headquarters of politics in Nigeria. And a lot of people still don't know it. You don't know politics in Nigeria except you understand Northern politics. They are way ahead of us. Right. And my father was the secretary of SDP then, 1993, 1992.
Right. So during the MKO times.
So he was the go-to person for Kingibe. Kingibe was the vice. He was the secretary of the party. Right. So I saw how politics works. I understood deeper. So he forced us even, of course, they didn't give Abiola. We went on being poor. He had put in the last card, hoping that thing will work and that would change our lives. Of course, they didn't change. We moved to a village, no running water, no electricity. After 1993 and all of that. So, but he forced us to be conscious of politics, to be conscious of. So I understand. I don't see politics the way everybody sees it. I didn't support Tinubu's government yet. I'm one of the first to say this subsidy needed to go. Right. This dollar issue, something had to be done to it. It wasn't sustainable. So the fact that I don't support doesn't mean I can't understand the economics and the basic sense of how governance works. And so I'm not the typical guy who just sees things the way everybody sees it. And I'm just as objective and says nobody is paying me, or it's just my own honest, sincere, and I'm not planning to even do politics. I just feel that to encourage patriotism, Nigerians need to speak up, particularly those in business, right? Because it's when the elite agree to change a nation, the nation really changes. You know, I just finished speaking at an event now. I'm going back there, Professor PLO Lumumba, Customs Maduka, myself, Justice, and Professor Lumumba was saying something that the reason why most African nations are not working is that the elite have agreed that it shouldn't work. Largely, the political class have agreed that that nation shouldn't work. You know, so for me, is I've always looked at issues. So, for example, where did 2015 have started? Occupy Nigeria. Right? And for me, I looked at it since that time. Subsidy needed to go.
Right.
I did not join Occupy Nigerian protests, but I joined NSAS.
I want to talk about your dad, because that whole growing up obviously defined a lot of things about where you went. But just to complete this, so I mean, there was a recent article, what Peter Obi would have done differently. You know, so yes, so two things. One, what was the thing that made you think that Peter Obi was going to be a different president, that made you stick your neck out for him? And what do you think he would have done differently for those who didn't read that article?
So I felt we had grip on Peter Obi. The people.
Yes, right.
Right? Peter Obi couldn't have become president and feel like, well, he was some Godfather, some. Of course, there were people who supported, Obasanjo supported him, a couple of people, but they were not like the people who say, without us, there's no Peter Obi. The young people had snatched that mandate. It was their mandate. He was their candidate. So he will have no choice. So it wasn't because he's a saint. Next was also the fact that because he was younger, he would be able to communicate.
I mean, your dad was in some way, as I'm saying, in real estate, almost like it was a building construction.
Yes.
Yeah, but not just one real estate, but engineering.
Yes.
And so he was also involved in politics. And so does that mean that you guys were a bit comfortable until he made this wrong investment? So
first thing was that before I was even born, my father's construction business was dead. Because what happened in the 60s was that the Northerners were having Southerners come build for them. They were not as educated, they were not so. My dad was one of those, so he would build houses for government. And it was majorly contract, build. But before I was born, all that was gone because the Northerners started learning it. And they started giving themselves the job. The Southerners that were there stopped getting job. Of course, my dad read spiritual meaning to it. He became a prophet in CNS, became a pastor. And it was through that politics came in.
How so?
Also because, politicians always go for who has the crowd. Exactly. And he was a brilliant person. Right? So the opportunity to now get into SDP, and remember the candidate was a Southerner, even though he was a Southerner, Yoruba man in the North. You see the point now. So it was easy to just, you be the secretary of the party, and was active, and thank God the president himself is a Yoruba man, and so he found his way around those things. But unfortunately in those days, politics was not like this. You remember there's a difference between being a party person, you look grassroots, and being in government or having a political position. My dad, funny enough, is still a grassroots APC man in Ogun State now, right? Because he continued, a wing of MKO joined the APC with Tinubu. Of course. So but they were never, I remember then, mobilization money, my dad would come with briefcase, 20 naira then, and election was finished. We couldn't renew house rent. This was 1 bedroom, room and a parlor. So that you understand how politics was played then.
This was a room and a parlor.
Room and a parlor.
Couldn't renew house
and we
rent.
couldn't renew house rent.
In the North.
In the North. And this was the same man who was giving mobilization money. So it tells the level of integrity. And it's still one of the things, I tell people that we were poor growing up, but we're poor with pride. People are poor, but
there was dignity.
Even if you have money, I can't touch you if it's not my own. That was the kind of values. Of course, Nigeria is different now. Those values are gone. That was the kind of value. Because if the man had briefcase of money and was distributing for election, after the election, he couldn't even renew. We were not the owner of the house, and he didn't build house, and a lot of money went through him, and still we couldn't renew house rent. We had to move to a village, no running water, no electricity. In fact, the water there was well water like milk. You know, there was no toilet. We're so poor that I never saw WC until I was 13. It was a big deal seeing that you could flush a toilet. We were jumping. So even the house we were living in, even though it was a city center, it wasn't still the flushable. It was just a hybrid, you know.
One leg here, one leg
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah. Let's talk about, you know, your business as it is now, for where it's coming from. I mean, people see you as one of the pioneers in terms of digital marketing. And I do remember that the first time I heard of you was 2015 election.
Oh.
When we were, because I worked on the Buhari campaign.
I know. You were the Buhari people.
And we're looking for data,
yes.
you know, because we were also handling data. So this guy, I'm like, who can possibly have this amount of data? He said, but he has it. So, you know, so I don't know. So me and all the guys, you know, kind of engage your team and all of that. So that was the first time.
Yes.
And then I think, if I remember correctly, we saw this data and I'm like, wow, this is actually a thing that we are seeing.
Yes.
How did that?
Maybe it was even you people that made DSS come and arrest you. Today I now know.
Let's move on from it. But how did you identify that opportunity? And how did you quickly become a leader at that time? Because, you know, it's easy now. After 2015, this is now the run of the mill. But for 2015, people were still looking at it like, you know, what is this? Can it move people? How did you identify the opportunity? And how did you quickly rise to the top of that industry?
So I started the business 2008, the SMS business.
Right.
And it started 1,000. There was a fellowship. They wanted to do conference. And it was a new technology of sending message in bulk. So they gave me 700 and I added 300 to it. And that was, I even went to a cyber cafe. I didn't even have a laptop.
Yes.
And of course, I told you how I submitted CV. Nobody would give me job. So I remember the third place I submitted the CV. The man looked at me and said, can I tell you the truth? I said, hey. He said, there's no job in Nigeria. So today I look back at young people who feel the thing started now. It's been there.
Yeah, of course.
You know, he said there's no job. He said, but I saw you on your CV. You were doing bulk SMS. You were doing trade fair. You were doing selling books. You were hawking electronics. You can pick some of these things up. You know, and who knows? It could become something. But I can take this CV and be promising you, but I don't think there's a job. So, and I took his word. I still don't know the man till tomorrow. I can't recall him anymore, but I see him as an angel. Because that was the last place I dropped my CV. So I then said, okay, this SMS thing I've been doing, let me continue. So I remember I would do a poster, buy bulk SMS 75 kobo, you know, and then I would paste it from, I used to live in Songwater. You know, in fact, one day I pasted the poster, started 10 a.m. From Songwater, pasted to Ikeja long. And then went back again the other side of the road and you were posting. By the time I got back to Songo bus stop, it was 12:30 a.m. of the next day.
Right. Yeah.
Coming down from the Molue, there was no light, it was dark, and I still needed, it's a long distance to where my house was. You know, no Okada, nothing. I was just coming down and tears were rolling down my eyes. I wasn't planning to cry, you know, but tears were just rolling down like, why will you work so hard? Why? What kind of life? Why will you? And I remember something said to me, I believe the Holy Spirit, that one day you share this story and people will think you make it up. That is a phase. And I cheered up. I remember that I started singing. And then later an Okada came and then I took the Okada, got home. But today, when I tell my story, I started 1,000, I said, all this aspire to make it look, you know, like, they don't come again. If I saw that on social media, people say, everything you do, I like it, but once you hit this 1,000 naira thing, I don't like it. You are deceiving people. You couldn't have started that small. You know, but I tell people, I said, but Dr. Cosmos is also a mentor of mine. He started with 200 naira. So they are real. Some of these things, they may look somehow, but it's possible.
Yeah.
So I will go to 20 schools to convince them. In fact, they don't have phone number database then. So I would say, doing this holiday thing, if you have the parents' number, you just push SMS to say we're on holiday, midtime, or government has announced an holiday, just pay 500 naira. And anytime you have SMS, just text it to me, email the database to me, then I'll push. But in reality, I wish I could say I was innovative, but I was hungry. My mother had died. She died of ovarian cancer.
Oh, sorry.
And she was our breadwinner.
Right.
And for days, even after she died, we couldn't eat in the house. My older brother, the only house she had in Songwater, because my best friend kicked me out. I was living with my best friend somewhere in Yanokpaja.
Okay.
And the parent, after we buried my mom, had to tell him, look, your friend's staying here, the food is eating, he doesn't have a job,
But this person is a liability.
He's a liability. We too can't be supporting him. So I remember saying, I'm still submitting CV, I'll soon get a job. I'm very sure, I will start contributing. He said, well, his mom said I need to leave their house. So I had to go back to Songo. And that's why real estate is important to me. Because the house my mother, the land she bought, 8,000 naira. 8,000 naira. And then built something small there, was the only place we had after she died. Else we would have been homeless.
Right.
And I hated the place because before she died, when I used to go there, it's so inside, you take Okada, they're doing rainy season, you now be coming down the Okada, you will pass this bad road, then you jump in again. Like, people are building houses in good location. See where my mom, but
that's what you had to rely on.
I valued it when she died, and her death was so painful for me because she was my idol. She was one person who believed in me. And I remember I didn't cry after she died, and I pastored when I was on campus.
Right.
And after she died, I still even preached. But one day I was coming back for the burial. I was coming back to Songo for the burial. Okay. And I was inside BRT bus, and I was reading this TW. Funny enough, I'm now close with it's Betty Rabo. Right. No, not Betty Rabo. Adesua Yenuka. TW magazine, and there was an article of a young guy. The mom was saying, I gave birth to him this other day. Now he's a graduate. And I started screaming in the BRT bus. And I guess it just connected that my mother won't be there when I'm graduating. And I just cried. So for me, my mom was dead. We're in that house for days. There was no food, me and my siblings. So I had to do something. Right. And this became one of those days. I never knew it would grow 2008. My first break was then 2015, where we did our first 30 million.
So for 7 years, you were just slugging.
Yes, just hustling and doing the thing.
Like that. So, it wasn't that, you saw an innovation opportunity and you entered inside. It was like poverty, exactly. And this was the only option you had.
It was the only option. No job opportunity, no. This was the easiest business that, the entry barrier was very low. Yeah.
So you have that 30 million naira debt. You entered into 30 million naira debt without collecting any loan from the bank.
No.
Okay, what was that?
No, the breakthrough was now doing a single 30 million naira deal.
Okay, right. So that was the breakthrough. But before that there was the debt situation.
But before then, I had an office in Ikeja. I was representing the university. 2012, I opened an office in Ikeja.
Okay, was that your first office?
Yes, right. Physical. No, not my first, but first in Lagos.
Okay.
So it was a one-room office. Then the balcony was my reception, and all of that. I felt I had arrived, that yes, we don't have office. Yes. So Bulk SMS was one business. Right. I was representing a university in Hungary, where they were giving, they had a reduced tuition fee. Right. But there was a processing fee of 100,000. So we had the professor come, educate them that, look, you are paying 100,000 processing fee. It's non-refundable. Okay. Right? Okay. But the tuition fee then, as at that time, I think it was 2,000 euro, but it was quite cheap. Dollar wasn't this, high. So the tuition fee was less than 2 million or something. So people, you now get admission, you'll be able to travel to Hungary and all that. So the professor came, addressed all the people I got, and some of them started paying. But down the line, they just sent us a termination letter. And that those who have processed for, they will not give them admission. Yeah. So innocent me, young in business, reach out to them, even send the screenshots that, look, this university has terminated, they are not ready to give you admission. And then some of them even have police as their relative. One of them just, if I knew I was invited to the police station.
Yes. You were invited.
Exactly. And you can imagine how young I was, invited to police station. And it was like deputy commissioner or somebody top. So I was in his office. When he was done, I said, hey, young man, how are you? He said, yes, sir. So what happened? I explained. If I said, oh, yeah, let's call the university. The man called. Okay. They said, oh, it wasn't his fault, that there was funding from Euro something. Right. So
the university confirmed that you were not at fault.
They confirmed. But after it was done, I said, I heard you are a very clergy, you are spiritual. See, when we start all this, put your name out there, you don't want to mess your name.
Right.
You see, we understand you don't have the money.
Yeah.
Right? But just do post-dated check. I didn't even know. First of all, there was no agreement between us. So there was really no legal issue.
Standing for you to be paying.
To be paying.
Yes.
But I didn't even know that.
Right.
Me seeing a big policeman.
Yes.
And he treated me well and said, look, there's no need for issue. Post-dated check. Right? Okay? So, sent me.
You signed the post-dated check.
I signed the post-dated check. There was some money I was expecting from something we were doing.
Right.
So I told the accountant, and at that point I felt these issues were spiritual. There must be. So we had our church 21-day fast. I said, I'm going to church. I'll just go, just go and seek God's face. So you accountant, will be owing some money, you people's salary and all of that. So, and then I used to sign post-dated check. So I'll just sign. You put the amount based on what comes in, withdraw. Only for accountant to clear the account.
Sorry, hold on. Your accountant?
Yes. Clear the account. Remember, I dropped another check for them.
Yes.
Clear the account.
So use the 2 checks to clear the account?
No, he had one.
Yeah.
There was one that was already given to the police people.
Yeah, so because that one is still with police.
So he was just supposed to withdraw an amount.
Yes,
leaving
to deal with
left,
the expenses.
to deal with the office of expenses. Leave the balance so that they can withdraw. He cleared it. Right? And he knew, because he was even the one because that day I did the meeting, I couldn't drop the check. So he was the one that even went to drop the check.
Yeah.
Right? So he knew. But because we were not sure of the exact amount coming in,
yeah, so we knew,
so we left it open that you just slot in. Once you know how much is being deducted for this, the balance you withdraw, sort other bills.
Yes.
Till today I've not seen him. He disappeared.
That's an incredible story. Incredible on so many levels.
Yeah.
But it's something that occurs to me. When your dad went through his thing, he thought it was a spiritual issue.
Yeah.
When you went through your thing, he thought it was a spiritual issue.
Yeah.
What do you think now?
Now it was a marketing issue. Even though some people now think I overdo it. Right? But when you come out of something, you really realize. Because, once I started, because that was the same thing the Holy Spirit said to me.
Yeah.
He said, let's assume there were witches on your matter. Right? If you send 200,000 emails, you don't have 200,000 witches on your issue.
You have outrun the
exactly. And I mean, that's why I knew God understand business.
Yes.
He said, how many clients do you need in a week?
Yeah.
I said, I don't need more than 10.
Yeah.
He said, and you send 200,000 emails.
Yes.
Okay, they will cover 100,000.
Yeah.
How about the really 100,000? You'll be able to get, and that was really what happened.
Yes.
When I step up my marketing game, the rest was history.
When you step up marketing game, the rest was history. Do you think that's something that's one of our problems, isn't it?
It is, because we're conservative.
Yeah.
So even now, I now see those issues.
Yes.
I remember doing an interview because I do a lot of videos to encourage young entrepreneurs.
Yes.
I just did one recently, how my best friend had been saying negative things about me. And I would go to meet people and say, this is my best friend. And for 6 years, he will go meet people and say, that guy, don't trust him. That guy, be careful.
So the person, you introduce your best
yes,
friend
I
to
said,
people,
this is my best friend.
And that best friend now goes to those people to say that this person is...
Suddenly I will notice after some months, those people are withdrawing
because
from
this is the person you vouch for.
Yes.
And the person is not telling them about you.
You know, but part of, unfortunately, the edge he had was that this guy, social media, small thing, you don't use social media, now audio, now social media. So, and a lot of people are conservative. They don't want the noisy, and all of those things.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it's part of why our business are not scaling. Because we have that mindset of
just manage what you have.
Cover it, don't let anybody know. But today we won't be in Dubai if we're not leveraging on social media. I'm not an Arab. We won't be in UK, we won't be in US. And it's still been this. But when I came out of that, I became a lion. I mean, you say what you want to say. Social media is a tool. I understand it. I'm even trained in the UK about it. I know how it works. And I just...
That makes sense. That's why you maximize social media. Maximize your voice. Because you've seen what that could do for you when everything else is failing. How did you move from data marketing to real estate?
That's a big one. So this was 2015.
Okay.
The year of breakthrough. So I have a culture of when I break through is when I get worried.
Explain that.
Because of my dad's story. My dad did well as a young man.
Right.
Was of course relative to that time. Forced to buy Suzuki bike in his lineage. Forced to buy B2 car. But what I learned from my dad's failure of eventually the latter years I knew was his wife having to double as father, provider and everything, was that he was not innovative enough. He was not dynamic. He didn't evolve with the times. So for me, when I reach a peak of a career, I'm saying, what next? This thing may not continue like this. So I went to Silicon Valley. Went to Google campus, Facebook campus, Apple campus. And oh boy, I was shocked.
Just to visit and see what's going on.
When I saw the acreage, Google campus was, Facebook campus was over 200 acres. I said,
It's funny because most people go to Silicon Valley. They see the free lunches. They see And you went and you were saying something.
No, I was saying something. I said, look, these guys, we thought it was the technology, but they have massive real estate. Backup. So I said, you know what? I will do real estate, build a strong financial base, then go back to tech.
Were you ever afraid that this wasn't going to work?
At the time I was getting to real estate, and that's what a lot of people didn't know, I wasn't hungry anymore. I was comfortable, I had a good reputation. So it was getting towards that legacy, let's do something bigger, let's do something, that type of thing. Yes, there was fear of this thing could go bad, but I felt I had a strength that even those real estate companies were having challenge with, I knew how to use social media. The aspirants had issues of trust. Okay? I could use technology. We were the first to start doing allocation via Facebook Live, inspection via Facebook Live when it started. There was even no Zoom then. Take celebrities. So we felt, okay, if we can show them, they can see it. Even though later I realized even that didn't count. Because those who will still say you don't have land will still say it. But at the beginning it was helpful because nobody was doing it. And we just kept that and kept at it. And many people didn't know our real estate company because I was still one leg data marketing, one leg real estate. In fact, we officially said it was 2018 and then said to myself, let's do this. I had a young man in my office, he's into PR and branding. So he said, I know you. I know that something is wrong with the way you are running this, your real estate. Your mind is not in it. I said, my brother, it's my name. I don't want to soil my name. I came from a family where a good name is better than silver and gold. So he looked at me and laughed. I said, tell me one billionaire whose name has not been rubbished. Or tell me, say, is it Dangote? And it was as if a veil was removed. Because suddenly I was like, that's true. That's true. I want to be successful, but I didn't want any of the risk.
Yes.
So at that point, I said, okay. So he said, look, you just have to give it a shot. You stand a chance of people dragging you here and there, but hey, to a level you even understand how that world works. So what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
So 2018, we then moved, worked. I think 2019, we moved to a new office in Normally, because part of my problem, digital marketing didn't need pomp and pageantry. So our office was somewhere in Ogba. You go to the third floor, by the time you come back, you are panting. It didn't look.
Yes.
So that was also a problem. Yeah. So you are telling people come and buy land worth millions. So come to your office,
yes.
Somehow. And sometimes people will say, your name is big, but I'm embarrassed the way your office looked. So we got somewhere normally, looked more decent, and that was when things started changing. COVID was now the breakthrough.
COVID was the breakthrough.
Yes.
Do you have any one memory of somebody who just didn't take you seriously, despite,
man.
Can you share one?
Many. I think I still get it now. Sometimes when I go places, they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
And move aside, push, and then later, when I'm not done with my session, can I take your autograph? Yes. Can I do this?
Yeah.
So I still get that vibe. Yeah. Oftentimes, I've met people who just, and that's why for me growing up, I'm now very much humble dealing with people. Even if you are nobody, I'm willing to give you attention. Even though my staff are sometimes like, okay, you don't need to explain to him. I'm like, look, I've been in the shoes where people they just, look down on me. Yeah. But I've had so many experiences. In fact, even with clienteles, you've had situations where clients will do business with you. Suddenly, like I have an estate where the estate was going for 1.5 million, and for some reason, some people said they wanted their money back. Now they are doing Coastal Road. The value of that estate now is over 30 million. Some of them are now reaching back and saying, hey, it was what I heard. It was, but can I get it back? You even to get your money, you drag our name. So I'm sorry.
That one has gone.
That one has gone. Yeah. But those were part of those days where you were not balancing, because some of them is now like somebody came to your Ogba office and I say, you see the picture of the office he has, and he sold you a land of 1.5 million or more. Something is shaky,
Yeah.
So, and because I was born in the north, simplicity was part of the DNA. But now, even when it comes to land business, before then I'll go to land negotiation with family. I'd had them, so example, I went to negotiate a land deal. And then we said we'll deposit 50 million, right? And they tore the 50 million check and threw it. I said, what do you think? You think we're hungry? And they walked out. And I know they didn't tear the check because of the fact that 50 million wasn't substantial. First of all, they didn't believe that money was real versus who they were seeing.
Yes. You were too simple
for
the 50 million check.
You think we're hungry people?
Yes.
And they were, of course, negotiating we should pay more. Right. But I know that if they knew that 50 million was real,
they would have taken it.
But it was just, see this guy. So later I had to change. Now I wear agbada. I have mopo. I have, even some negotiations.
Yes.
Because also I started losing land. Particularly in Bejuleki, I'll pay for land, they won't give me.
Right. Yeah.
So at some point, part of what we had to learn.
Yes. You have to give them visual aid.
Yes.
So they can understand.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I will go with a team of military police.
Yes.
And we're not fighting. And I'll be frustrated. You don't share one uncle me, my brother is military. you don't go, sir, you know.
For people that don't say Yoruba, I will not see
You
one.
will not see one, sir. There's no war.
Yes.
But after
the point
that
has been
time,
made.
I stopped losing land. They will
Yes.
give you your land. You will not have issues.
Yeah.
So those are things I had to learn about doing business in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Nigeria is a bullying country.
Nigeria is a bullying country. You have to, yes.
And the language bullies understand is a bigger bully.
Yes. Sadly. That's the way it is. Everything in Nigeria, whether it's pure water, whether it's beauty pageant, whether it's politics, once one person has done it, then everybody else enters.
Yes.
So there's been a glut in real estate market. And over the past few years, a lot of scandals, fake and real scandals. People collect money, promise payment terms. First, what is happening? Why is there so much scam in the real estate industry? And how do you, as a brand, avoid by association these reputational issues?
Again, this is not new. Like I said, by the time we got into the business, there was already that fear. And we were able to use technology to improve it. With, okay, we'll show you videos, we'll do this, we'll show you that. But I think, again, when that and then using influencers started, part of the problem is, partly, let me start with the influencers.
Okay.
So you see somebody represent your brand today, and one day you have a crisis, and the person say, well, I'm not representing them again. And it's strange, because we saw you the day they gave you money, the day you say, let me thank them, they supported me, And I have issues with people who are not loyal.
Right.
And I think celebrities need to know that if they will keep their own integrity, if they will keep their own brand, they have to learn to be loyal. Human beings are not difficult. If there were mistakes, join the company to beg and identify. You know, but when you just go and say, I'm not with them anymore, what you don't know is you have also damaged your reputation.
Brand, because that means that your judgment is
questionable. Because number one, no corporate brand will identify with you again, because they know you throw them under the bus like that. Number two, the client too will say, because of money, you collected money and you discarded them when we had problems, because we bought because of you, right? And so celebrities are part of the issue. If you're going to represent a brand, understand the brand. In fact, what helped us, we have had over 20 different celebrities represent us. But what we always do, come and see the land that you are. So they will be on, it doesn't matter whether it's inside the bush, you will follow us inside that bush.
Yes. The bush is where the money is coming
Exactly. And that helped us, because now, if anybody raise issues, the celebrities say, I was there. You know, no, this one, me, I go there. I say, in fact, sometimes we make the celebrity do their location. So there's no issue. So we've had people who reach out to celebrities before who like, no, I was there. There may be issues, go and sort it out. Maybe you've not finished paying them. And that leads me to the second issue, issues of default. So if you're buying a house in America, for example, when you default by the third term, you lose the mortgage and you lose all the money you've paid. Nobody goes to social media and say the real estate industry in America is fake.
What has lowered the bar of entry in that industry?
I think what happened was, or is, the fact that the Lagos boom is now reaching other areas. Ibadan, Abeokuta, Enugu, Onitsha. Right? So every landowner wants to cash out. So the families are willing to say, okay, we'll even give you the land. Go and be selling and pay us. You see the issue now.
People are entering into all kinds of deals.
Exactly. So, okay, we had to be selling the land, as you said, pay us. So you are having situations where, first of all, they've not even paid anything on the land. They are able to start selling. Some of them don't have integrity to know that this money is not your money. Oftentimes when people say, boy, you're a billionaire, I say, it's not my money, it's investors' money. Right? Every rich man you know today, Elon Musk, for example, if Elon Musk were truly worth $200 billion, why did he borrow, to buy Twitter? Why did he have to share shares to buy Twitter? Why did he have to get Saudi Arabia investors? Because when you say someone is worth this, it's not that the cash
have
is
the money
there.
in the bank.
It's the assets, is the, you know, so it's not
Investments,
liquid.
valuation,
It's the exact valuation, all these things. So, but unfortunately in Africa, we don't know that. The guy is big, you know, the guy is this, the guy is stingy, he's not giving. But that's not really how it works. You know, so those are part of the issues. People are able to go and buy and start selling land. Nothing is on ground. Also, knowledge is an issue. Ignorance is everywhere. So there's no proper education. I've done almost 1,000 video around. I have over 2,000 videos on YouTube, but at least almost 1,000 is on real estate. You know, and for me it was just to deepen the industry, to help both investors, both developers. I'm a Harvard-trained real estate investor, you know, and I understand how real estate works beyond just Nigeria. And we just need to educate. Unfortunately, most people get in without understanding. So, for example, when you are selling land, you buy a land from a family. Let's say you bought 100 acres, right? Those families did not give layout. Where road we pass, it wasn't factoring. So you end up realizing that 20% of that 100 acre will need to be for road.
And you've calculated.
And you've calculated based on the entire land. It's when you move to sites, you now realize, like some of the cases we realize at some point, we can't even give clients, you know, 600 square meter. If we will do the infrastructure, we need where the flower will be, where the road will be, where the this will be. But of course, you know our client. No, you can't say that. All land is 600 square meter. No, because of we're doing a serviced estate. Another thing, because they don't know all this cost implication, they are selling it. So come and buy 500,000 naira. You have a land. Meanwhile, for every land you buy for 500,000, for you to deliver on the infrastructure, you need to sell 6 times the price you are buying it. Because infrastructure is usually higher than the cost of the land. So most developers don't know this.
So it's like a gold rush. So everybody's coming in without any base of knowledge.
Exactly. So you end up running into the crisis.
Right. Because now the company has focused on smart homes and green homes. Why that shift?
So it's been there from beginning, because we when we started, we said first thing we were heavy on land. So at that point, okay, let's do service plot. Service plot means we'll fence the place. We'll do internal roads. We'll, you know, provide some basic infrastructure. Of course, it will take years because these things are not easy and the cost. But that was the offering. And so that started doing well. And when we started the campaign on land banking, I'm one of those who made the concept of land banking popular, you know, in Africa. You know, what's land banking? That you can buy a land now and, you know, for the purpose of future development, future appreciation, leave it for 5-10 years, then you sell it at a way higher price. You know, so all that so when we were to start real estate housing, how do we what unique offering do we offer? You know, we can't just build. So we're the first to say our offering is green and smart. Of course, everybody's, you know, when you start something, everybody start doing too. You know, we're the first to say we're doing green and smart. Why? It's better we're ahead, you know, in the renewable energy. And the green and smart is not just plant, is that we're using solar, you know, we're recycling the waste. You know, we make the house smart. You can voice command for your AC and all of that. I just felt it was a unique way to add something unique. But of course, it has its problem because now dollar issue. You agree with a customer to pay 100 million for a house. Before you say Jack Robinson, your own cost is already 180 million. You go back to the customer, they don't want to hear it, which is part of what other colleagues are having. You know, so when I sensed that 2021, it was part of why I moved to Dubai. Right? You know, and we expanded heavily internationally with the housing. And we didn't get into too much mess, you know, collecting, you know, 1,000 investors' money. And so that helped even our own credibility, you know, to a good extent.
I know that there is a U.S. vision that has become clearer. What is that about?
So we had aspired to U.S. We did, you know, some what we call fix and flip. So you buy a house that is dilapidated, you fix it. So we even have one we are selling in Valdosta, state of Georgia, 20 unit, 3-bedroom. Right. We have in Alabama. But at some point we felt, look, let's make a statement.
Okay.
Right? One of the major challenge with we African immigrants in UK, US, and Canada is that we're only going there to get jobs. And it's why Donald Trump called us shit-hole and doesn't, all those statements. He won't say that about the Chinese. He won't say that about the Indians because as much as they're looking for a job, they're also starting businesses. Right. They come together, they start a project. Nigerians, on the other hand, when one person is rising, we practice what we call the crab mentality. One person is rising, we all hold, because if you put one crab, I'm sure you know the story, you put one crab in a bucket, in no time it comes out. But you put 3, when one is going up, the other pull it down. And that's what we practice even in diaspora, not only here. Right? So for me, I felt we needed to make a statement. I mean, and funding is easier. So we got this 40-acre in Texas, Katy, and now we're on the verge of building a $150 million project. When completed, it will be the largest green and smart home in the whole of US in one location. Right? Very audacious. I'll send you the 3D. It is extremely audacious. I'll send you the 3D. But the good thing about the US is that institutional funding of 70% is already ready. Right. It's our own 30% that we're raising. Right. Which tells you again, which is part of what. So going back to what's happening in Nigeria, imagine if an average developer in Nigeria can get 75% or 70% of what they need from institutional investors. We will not have much of this crisis
that we're having presently in the industry. You told my producers that you almost lost $1 million.
Yes.
Please can you tell us that story?
Yeah, I know that I almost lost. As of now, we don't have it.
What happened?
In Dubai, So, like I told you, the Dubai thing, in 1 year we became the largest black-owned brokerage firm. Right. Because we solved a problem people had. So people who invest in Dubai, there's nobody that is managing it. There's nobody that is helping them return their profit, and they don't live in Dubai. They just wanted to do it for investment. So when we got there, it was easy for people to say, hey, you are a lifesaver. At least we know you. If anything happens, we know your Nigerian office. We'll come there and all that. So it was easy to move and start doing. But what also then happened is that Nigerians who were like realtors, who were working for developers in Nigeria, will also come in, come and sell for my own company, help your brother. If you do deals with us, you will help me, So there was one of them, young man, had known the wife. She used to help me because I used to do seminars way back in Dubai. I have the place jam-packed, teaching people on internet business, digital marketing. And so the wife used to be my admin and all of that. So he came, I support your brother and all of that. I said, fine, let's push for your company. And first year, we did over $5 million with his company alone. Second year, same thing. But the third, year or something, the last set of 5 units that our investors bought, and again, integrity sometimes, because sometimes we need to balance conversations. Integrity also can land you into trouble. Because for every of those investors, not one error came to our own company account. Right. I just told them, I trust this guy. Pay it to him. And so some of them will say, but we don't have dirhams, Dubai money. We only have naira. I said, you will say, oh, send me naira, I'll change it and I'll pay. So it was even almost a year. The manager there in Dubai said to me, sir, we have 5 clients. They couldn't get receipt from the developer. The developer is threatening to cancel their unit. There's no refund. I said, what do you mean by no refund? People put their money. They trusted us. Yes, we didn't collect their money, but they are doing it because of
our
us.
Reputation.
Their own reputation. They know us. No, this can't happen. I even went to the developer's office, with my team. Incidentally, even his own wife was there. Like, what's going on with you people? My clients, property, we need it. So later on, one of them reached out and started saying, are you people saying you don't know that this your Nigerian brother that works with us, that brought you to come and be selling for us, scammed the company, forged the accountant's signature, was issuing receipt that was not from the company. I said, we don't know. He said, yeah, that in fact, he's run to Nigeria at the moment. He's gotten one very powerful lawyer in UAE who is close to the ruling family to be negotiating with the company, for him and all. So it sounds so strange. So, of course, it's a small community. So I reaching out to a few people, is this thing true? Some of them saying, yeah, in fact, we're the ones contributing money to help him so that he doesn't go to jail about the issue. Wow. Now this is somebody, in fact, at that period, the wife was an acting branch manager of that Dubai branch. So I had a meeting. I first started by having a meeting. Okay, what was going on? He said, no, it's not me. That's not true. I'm not involved. He's the son of the owner. He gave his own version of the story.
Yeah.
But over time, the thing continued.
Right.
And my own argument was, you paid, let's assume you didn't steal the company's money or the investors' money.
Yeah.
You paid to the company that you worked for. By Dubai law, you are the one that have the right to prosecute the developer.
Yeah.
Why haven't you prosecuted the... Because that also affected our own ability to sue the developer, because we were not the one that paid. I just told the investors, pay to him, I trust him. Yeah. And we've done over $10 million. So why will you not
take action?
Trust such a person? No, somebody you've done.
So I tell you, do not trust such a person.
Yes, you've done over $10 million that checked out.
Yes. So there's a track record.
There's a track record.
Yeah.
So why will you? So I just paid to him direct. So now he put us in a position where we couldn't even prosecute him or even the company. And our clients are not based in Dubai as well.
Yeah. Final question.
Yes.
You were talking about when you and your wife were going through that thing. Isn't it incredible how far you've come since 2012 till now? I think that your wife was even worried that they would say that I've brought negative leg to you. Considering that now they can say that she brought positive leg to you. When you guys look back, what is one of the things you are most grateful for?
Everything. Everything. Because the first day I went to meet my father-in-law, again, I was normal, I don't wear agbada then, palm slippers. He looked at me head to toe. Where are you from? I mentioned. Who is your father? I mentioned. I noticed he kept trying to look for any notable person in my entire lineage. In fact, today now my family member used me to, that it's my brother, So there was nobody big. And he eventually told my wife, he said, look, this is an irresponsible guy. He cannot afford to take care of you. He doesn't have my blessing. Which was part of another version of the challenge I was having that time. Because my wife insisted we should get married, whether her father's blessing or not.
Your wife insisted to get married, whether her father blessed it or not?
Thank God she's here. So if I'm blind, you can.
She can.
Blind. So we then did court wedding. Our wedding was very small. We did court wedding. We did the reception self in my living room. And that's why I encourage young people, all these big party. You are just killing yourself. It was very little, and then we started life. By the time we had our first son, after naming, my son started emaciating. In fact, literally his bones were sticking out of his flesh. My wife would carry him, people would start seeing vision and say they use charm hand to touch your son. So at some point I spoke to some of my pastors and said, well, let's go and beg your father-in-law. Any offense you have committed, just go and be begging. We don't know where. So I remember going to my father-in-law and I prostrated for hours, and he kept ranting. If my daughter had died, even if the court says you don't have hand in it, I will bribe the warders to poison you till you die.
Wow.
You, this boy. He was angry, and I kept... My dad was there. My adopted mom, my mother has been late at that time.
Yeah.
Everybody begging. And so today for years he won't talk to his daughter. Today now she's his favorite. So we did our 10th year anniversary, I think 2 years ago, when he came. My adopted mother, I remember when it was at all, said, some people, we went to beg them. Oh, we remember that day. My son prostrated. I was begging, but see what God has done now. Now we're at Banana Island doing 30th anniversary. So I remember he now said, well, where I made mistake, God mark it right for me.
I love it.
So we look back and we can just be, and that's why we are very much humble. My wife is a very kind. Don't be surprised if you see my wife in Okada.
Yeah.
Very down to earth, easy going, because we've been through a lot. Life is, we know that life is fickle.
Yeah. Life is fickle.
Yeah.
So we're grateful for everything.
Yes, just grateful.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to find
Thank God I didn't cry. They said the people cry on the show. You see, I didn't cry.
Because we went through a masterclass. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
It's
This
a pleasure
was
to have you.